you can count on. This is MYTV5 News at 7.
We're following developing news out of Bay City tonight, where crews are still working to put out a major fire at a manufacturing plant.
That fire has not forced any evacuations, but hazmat crews are on the scene. Let's send it right out to James Felton, who has been on the scene since this story broke.
Thanks, guys. Taking a look behind me, the scene is very calm right now, but it was a much different story just a few hours ago.
But it just went poof.
Tom Clare describing this. A huge fire at his company, Bay Carbon Incorporated. He says it started in the front of this building just before 2 this afternoon. An official cause of the fire hasn't been released yet, but Clare has a theory.
We have these big power supplies, we call them, and they're like generators, and they allow us to heat up the product. And I think that it was electrical and that started on fire, but we won't know until we can get back in there.
The large plumes of smoke raised concern about the release of chlorine into the air. A hazmat team came in from Midland to take air samples. So far, none of the nearby residents has had to evacuate. Meanwhile, Bay City Fire Department officials say no one was hurt. They tell us the building is a loss. Claire, who is the company president, says seeing this fire is tough, but he knows things could have been much worse.
Everybody's safe. That's the biggest fear you have when you're running a company, is somebody's going to get hurt. And nobody got hurt. Product can be replaced. People can't.
And as you can see, we have a Bay Metro Transit bus out here that is to keep fire crews warm because they will be on the scene until about midnight tonight. So if you are near Marquette Avenue, you should probably avoid this area because the road will be closed for quite some time. For MYTV5 News at 7, I'm James Felton.
All right, James, thank you. And as he just said, fire crews may be putting out this fire until midnight. Stay with TV5 on air and online for continuing coverage on the status of this fire.
It was a beautiful start to the weekend, as most of that snow is now in the rearview mirror. But some bitter cold temperatures could put a chill in your weekend plans. Meteorologist Brian Bachman is in the First Warn 5 Weather Center with what you can expect. Hey, Brian.
Hey there, Meg. Always a catch, right? You get rid of something and replace it with, well, something else that isn't exactly ideal. But you know what was great about today? We had at least a good amount of sunshine filtering through those clouds today. What little clouds there even were, because in fact there were certainly a lot more in the way of blue sky than any clouds out there today. And we're going to take that into at least the first part of our weekend. It's going to get at least a little bit milder too. Here's a look at things on your First Warn 5 Sky Tracker this evening. We've actually seen the few passing clouds that there were today evaporate away a little bit in the last couple of hours. But if you look off to the north and west on the other side of Lake Michigan there, you can see there's a disorganized band of snow showers trying to work its way through northern Wisconsin. At the very least, that will spill some clouds over into the region this evening. Our attention turns away more from that Clipper system there to this developing storm, which you can see on the bottom left-hand side of your screen there over the Four Corners region, actually bringing a little bit of rain to the site of Super Bowl 49 today. That will be a player as we head into Sunday, possibly throwing a little bit of snow our way. As for our temperatures this evening, still plenty cold. 18 degrees right now in Saginaw, 15 for both Houghton Lake and Flint. Bad Axe, though, dropping like a rock already, down to 3 degrees, and the temperatures won't stop there, at least for a little bit longer. A milder Saturday is ahead, and then some Sunday snow to talk about. All the details on that in your full forecast in about 10 minutes.
Very scary, very. We're counting our blessings today.
That woman and others are just happy to be alive after a car accident sent an SUV into a local post office. TV5's Andrew Keller talked with a post office employee who says it could have been much worse.
Well, the accident started in this intersection right behind me, where police tell us that a car traveling northbound ran a red light and smashed into a vehicle traveling westbound on Remington. One of those vehicles spun out of control and ended up blowing into this building right here.
They definitely did hear it happen.
A quiet afternoon at the Saginaw Post Office changed in a hurry. Right around 1:30, this Ford Edge spun out of control after coming into contact with another vehicle and blew through the exterior of the building. It created a mess and ruptured a pipe leading to the building's boiler.
That's the first question I asked, was anyone injured, and we were very thankful that none of our employees were injured.
The office is littered in debris tonight, but luckily no one was working in it when the accident happened. But Saginaw's postmaster, Jackie Viken, says just 3 years ago, she likely would have been right here working on this turned-over computer.
I had witnessed many accidents from that window that happened outside of there, And it had occurred to me, what if something should happen if they came into the building, but you kind of don't want to think about that, so you pass that thought.
It was her office for 7 years before the Postal Service made their consolidations. She now spends most of her time in the Postal Building on Bay Road, and by chance, wasn't in this office today.
Very scary, very. We're counting our blessings today.
Now, the accident did knock the heat out of the building. Tonight, crews are working to reestablish that. And now, as far as the damage done to the exterior tonight, they plan to fasten it up, secure it, and then reassess the situation tomorrow. For now, in Saginaw, I'm Andrew Keller, My5 News at 7.
No word yet on the conditions of those two drivers.
We are still working to update you on the condition of the man who was in the Saginaw Bay for almost 2 hours yesterday. 24-year-old Eric Molina and his uncle Alan Perro were riding their snowmobiles on the Saginaw Bay when the two fell through the ice. The two men were in the water for almost 2 hours before the Coast Guard was able to get them out. Perro later died at the hospital, but Molina survived and is recovering. Take a look at this cell phone video of a coyote on the hunt in a local man's backyard. It is one of several coyote sightings in the Saginaw area over the last few weeks. But it's not just Saginaw. More coyotes are being spotted in populated areas all over mid-Michigan. But are they dangerous? I spoke with the local sheriff to find out.
I was kind of surprised that he was this close.
Robert Ward couldn't believe his eyes. A coyote in his Bridgeport Township backyard. He rushed to record this video of what appears to be a coyote hunting for food.
He spent his time out here probably about 4 hours. Spotted him about 11:30.
Ward is not alone. Coyote sightings are happening all over mid-Michigan, from Saginaw to Lapeer, Goodrich to Clare. This picture shows one behind Saginaw's Arthur Hill High School.
Anytime you deal with an animal that's wild, you never want to handle it on your own.
Saginaw Sheriff William Fetterspiel says there's no need to panic. Coyotes rarely attack humans. You're more likely to be attacked by a domestic dog. But you should take precautions to protect your pets and farm animals. Never approach or touch a coyote. Never intentionally feed one. Put garbage out in the morning on the day of pickup. Clear out wood and brush piles because they draw rats and mice, which attract coyotes. And don't let your pets roam free when coyotes are present.
I would advise people call 911, let your concerns be heard. If it's a threat to public safety, we'll be there.
And while their presence in subdivisions, urban and suburban areas may be surprising to homeowners, increasing populations by both coyotes and humans is forcing these wild dogs to encroach into human environments. But Ward says he's not worried and he looks forward to it.
Obviously, I wasn't going to go out there and try to get involved in it, but it was just a good time watching them,
Have you snapped a pic of a coyote in your neck of the woods? Show us. Post your pictures or video to our Facebook or Twitter pages. Genesee County Crime Stoppers are looking for your help in solving a local shooting. Police say on January 17th, 2 men walked into the Prince Party store on Pasadena and shot the owner in the chest. The men ran away and police have not been able to make an arrest. If you have any information, call 1-800-SPEAK-UP.
We have an update to the story we brought you last night on the sale of contaminated kerosene. The Huron County Sheriff's Department says all of the kerosene has now been recovered. Yesterday, police and the Bad Axe Mini Market announced the market sold 79 kerosene containers that were actually 25% gasoline. The mistake resulted in at least one small explosion at a home. The homeowner had to go to the hospital for smoke inhalation.
And state police are still looking for an Alpina woman who has been missing now for more than a week. 57-year-old Mary Carol Allen went missing from her home on January 22nd. Police say she is about 5'3", 130 pounds, and is on medication that she probably needs. If you have any information, call Michigan State Police.
The vaccination debate is heating up across the country.
Still ahead, what a local superintendent has to say about policies that some parents believe are unfair.
Plus, a golf course that's been around for more than a century is making a major change. The details coming up. Plus,
if you knew all these facts, would you still charge my brother? Would you put him in prison?
Convicted of murder, he says the jury wasn't allowed to see and hear crucial evidence. Will our tough questions lead to a new trial? You be the judge. An I-Team report tonight at 11.
And you are watching MYTV5 News at 7, serving Auburn, Davison, Fairgrove, and your hometown too.
it's coverage you can count on.